having state vocational rehabilitation as your go-to place makes it much easier to connect with people with disabilities. State vocational rehabilitation also has tremendous resources in terms of education, of talent, of assistance, and so it's sort of a one-stop shop. It is the place, the go-to place for employers to get really everything they need when it comes to working with people with disabilities.
You know, over the past few years, or past several years, UAB has continued the partnership with Voc Rehab simply because it works. It works for us. And in making sure that we're meeting the needs. UAB is an organization that's always changing. And our relationship with Voc Rehab has been responsive to those changes. The expectation that what worked yesterday may not work today and what's working today may not work tomorrow has been an important part of the relationship. And so as we've continued to work with each other, we've been able to talk through what's part of the past, what's part of the present, as well as plan best for the future.
My company and myself, we had a relationship with VR for many, many years, 30 or more years. And because of that relationship, we developed some good solid trust. You know, any relationship takes time and it takes work, and so that relationship had been built with VR over the years.
I think it's probably one of the best examples of public-private collaboration in our state. Not only are jobs filled, which benefits the business community, of course, but lives are changed, and I think that many businesses want to do the right thing. They see the business good that comes from employing individuals with disabilities in particular, but they're fearful of what to do. And it's not that they don't want to hire, it's that they're afraid to do the wrong thing, and they don't really know where to turn.
We built our capacity for hiring and retaining individuals with disabilities at Amerex by working with the state agency, State Rehabilitation Agency, in training and sharing information. They would come in and learn they came in and learned all the departments within the company so that they were aware of where would be the best place to put someone. They also help select people, and they would do on-the-job training, and if the person had a problem, they would come back and work with them. They didn't just bring the person here and leave them. They came back and came back and came back, and they also shared information and knowledge about how to work with that person. If that person was having a problem and it had to do with their disability, they helped us to understand why and how to deal with that differently.
Our business relation consultant is very knowledgeable concerning the federal hiring practices and the special hiring authorities for persons with disabilities. She works with us, and she also understands the VA mission to work with vets and to help our veterans get better care.
Both ADRS and Office Max work together in detailed planning as to what we wanted to accomplish with the diversity and inclusion program of hiring associates with different abilities. We worked from beginning to end in all aspects of the operation. We talked about physical plant setup, we talked about strategic planning, we talked about training, we talked about unlimited number of resources and things like that. We talked about things such as accommodations, reasonable accommodations. We had on-site training. We went through sensitivity training in the building where associates have never experienced that before. We taught everybody, in the building about the, American Sign Language and its usage and things like that.
They're also a trusted advisor, and I know that word is used a lot, but in this case it truly is. I spoke earlier about the fear that I see businesses experiencing, and so they know they can trust the vocational rehab folks to give them an honest assessment, whether it's a facility accessibility issue, if it's a website accessibility issue, if it's a job accommodation assessment that an employee has asked for, or we have a need to provide an accommodation and we don't know where to turn. They have been trusted resources for that. And when it comes to filling jobs, we know that they can be trusted to carefully vet candidates for positions. They're only going to refer people that they know can be successful in the role.
Well, we chose state rehabilitation agency, as our conduit services, because they, as I said earlier, they're the go-to agency. They have all of the resources in one place, so you're not making a lot of telephone calls, you're not dealing with a lot of different agencies. You're essentially making one telephone call to secure all of the resources that you need as an employer.
I think that choosing vocational rehab as the partner was very important. I personally have a number of relationships with voc rehab counselors, job specialists, and I think it's a perfect match because they have resources available to assist in promoting hiring people with disabilities. And from an employer standpoint, we need to know where to go to get help with job coaching, to have knowledge about the programs that are available to employers. And I think that that's why it's such a good match, because of all the resources and knowledge base.
30 years ago, some people at Alabama Department of Rehabilitation had a vision, and they were dedicated and they were dependable. They kept coming back. They didn't just come out and make a call. They believed in it, and they wanted to be part of the company. They wanted to be a true partner. It wasn't just making a call, it was getting involved in the whole aspect of the business, and they continued throughout the years to be a support.
Every week I'm talking with VR, and several times a month we'll call and say we've got a situation where an employee has a disability. Either we didn't know about it or they developed it after they came to work, and we need VR to come and help us assess, determine reasonable accommodations, and find the resources to implement those accommodations. And VR is our go-to group. They're experts, and they're always available to help. They come on site. We have a really good long-term working relationship with VR.